What's going on, fowl players? Bruce here, talking to you from the bean hole, and today I'm going to start giving you all the information that you need to plan your waterfowl impoundment. It's going to be a multi-part series here, maybe 2 or 3 episodes as we go through all the different aspects that you need to consider and what you want to do to plan for with your waterfowl impoundment. So we're going to talk about the where, the what, the why, the how. All of that stuff is going to be covered to help you attract more ducks for season next year. Are you ready for it? Here we go.
You're watching the Fowl Play YouTube channel.
Alright, first thing here in part 1, I'll kind of tell you why I'm doing this. A couple years ago when I started managing the property out here to try to attract more ducks, I went looking for information and I found a little bit here, found a little bit of information over there, maybe something from here. I couldn't find anything that kind of wrapped it up for me and said, here's how you can manage your property to attract more waterfowl. So that's what I'm trying to do for you right now. If you're like me and you're trying to manage an impoundment to attract more ducks, here's I think just about a good chunk, if not all, the information that you're going to need to get started. So first off, in this first part, we're going to talk a little bit about the where. Discuss how you choose where you want to plant, where you want to have a waterfowl impoundment or do some improvements to the habitat to attract for ducks. So I'm going to roll that clip now and tell you what I think about choosing your spot for a waterfowl impoundment. Whew. All right, I've been running the chainsaw a little bit. I'm a little out of breath. Bear with me, but let's talk about first consideration when you're planning a waterfowl impoundment, or more simplistically, which is closer to what I'm doing here, is trying to improve native habitat to attract more ducks and get more duck hunting. First thing to consider is the location, right? Like they say in real estate, location is everything. Well, it's the same thing with duck hunting. First consideration in location is, are there ducks in the area? Do ducks fly over the property that you want to manage for duck hunting? If they don't, you're probably not going to get them in, at least any time soon. You might wait 3 to 5 years and they start finding it. But if you're looking for something this season or next season or whatever's coming up, you need to have ducks in the area. Now I know I have that here. I have a significant creek over here that wood ducks use year-round. Just across the road there, it empties into a significant river that I know the ducks travel. We see them there all the time. And for being out here, I know there are a couple of other groups that are doing well. At least they're shooting a lot. I don't know if they're bagging a lot of birds. They're shooting a lot. So location, I know there are ducks in this area, so I got that one checked off. The other one is accessibility. If you need to do some work, can you get to it with the equipment that you need to do so? Now, I'm not talking about bulldozers and things like that, but maybe you need to get in and do some chainsaw work, right? Maybe you need to you need to plant something. You're going that direction. Can you get to it with the equipment that you need to do so? If it's simple, you can walk in and do a hand broadcast seeder, and that's really all you need, then maybe you're fine. But maybe it's a little farther off the road. Can you get a four-wheeler back there? Is it close enough to walk and lug all your stuff? That's a consideration here. Again, I got that checked pretty well. I can drive just about up to, I can drive right up to the edge of this spot in a four-wheeler, just as I can the other places we hunt here. So getting equipment in and out, small equipment like I use, getting that in and out is not a problem. And then I guess it would go into location, but your water source, obviously you got to have water. Can you control it? Now if you're upscale, if it's a formal impoundment with dikes and all that, maybe you're pumping water and you're holding it back with a flashboard riser, then you've got that checked off pretty easy. But otherwise, do you have a dependable source of water? I hunted an impoundment in a club a few years ago. Really nice impoundment. It had big levees around 2 sides of it. It kind of drew down into a little corner, but we didn't have water. We had to rely completely on rain, and in years where we didn't get a lot of rain, it was dry. Also, it really wasn't on the flight path of ducks. We shot a few wood ducks opening day, but then that was about it for that spot. But you know, what's your water supply like? I've got the creek right there. As you guys have seen with my poor man's flashboard riser, I am able to hold water out while I get in here and work it, and I'm growing crops, which is what I'm doing here. And I have the ability to drain it as well. I'm really lucky here that I've got this uphill, downhill thing where I can let water flow in, I can let water flow out. I also have the creek there where you have seen me pump water in the past. Same way goes for the other hole. It will drain out. I don't have a way for it to drain in, so I do have to pump. But that's a consideration. You know, can you get your pump back there? Do you have a source? Do you have a creek or some other source of water you can pump from? Maybe you're using an existing beaver dam that's on a creek, so you know your water flow there is covered pretty good. But you have to consider that. So I think those are the three kind of main considerations. You know, are ducks in the area? Can I get to it to do the necessary work that I needed, which could be minimal or extensive, so it kind of depends on your needs there about accessibility. And do I have a reliable and controllable source of water? If you can check off those three things, then I think you found yourself a spot to build a little impoundment or to improve the habitat that's already there and shoot more ducks. So give those things some thought. Go grab a cup of coffee. I'm going to go over here and ride the chainsaw some more. So it's what it is, duck hunting, right? All right, we talked a little bit about the where. And my dog is broken. What are you doing? That's a laugh for you, right? Anyway, we talked about the where. Let's talk a little bit. Maybe this is even the first question to ask is the why. Why are we doing this? There's whys at several levels, actually. Uppermost level is, why do we have a dog that is absolute bonkers? Don't know that one. But why do we do this? Well, we want to attract ducks, obviously, right? Which is you know, pretty obvious. We're doing this to attract ducks, and that's going to affect our where and our what and our how and all that jazz. But why is going to come in probably a little bit as I talk about some other aspects. Why do we choose this plant? Why do we choose this type of management? Why am I out here today trying to get rid of this buckbrush that's over there, right? So there's a why. Why am I doing that? Well, it's crowding out all my all the sunlight. It's crowding out all the vegetation that I want. If you can see, this kind of looks like grass growing up. I don't know if you can see much of it through here, but that's barnyard grass coming up that started growing in here last season. I think some of it's actually rice as well, from what I planted. But that buckbrush, it just gets all up in my business, right? It blocks out the sunlight, so that stuff can't grow. You can't walk through it. If it gets real big, you can't get through it at all. If you drop a duck in it, it's hard to find. And, you know, it's competing for nutrients, right? It's taking water out of the soil. It's taking nutrients out of the soil that I would much rather go to the desirable plants. So that's why I'm out here today trying to open these things up. So, yeah, every stage, I guess, when you're making a decision, why am I doing this? Right? What's my goal, I guess, is... you know, the lesson to take away there. What's my goal here? Why am I doing this? Why am I choosing these plants? Why am I choosing this management style? Why did I choose this spot? Right, so I guess that maybe is even kind of an overarching thing that we're going to ask ourselves. So just something else to consider when you're, you know, managing your waterfowl impoundment and trying to attract ducks, right? So we're going to move on and talk about a few other things.